Okay, so what we're going to do now is talk about hardware wallets, and specifically I'm going to talk about the Ledger Nano S, which is my favorite hardware wallet, but certainly there's several others that are also very good picks. But for today, we'll just talk about the Ledger Nano S, as I think it's one of the easiest to talk about. I'm also going to be talking about the Neon wallet, which is a third-party wallet for Neo, which I think is really good at just keeping things very simple, very accessible. So what we're gonna do is there's a couple steps I've already taken. For example, installing the Neon wallet on my computer. It's available on Windows, Mac, Linux, so it's really agnostic to operating system. Another thing that I've already done is set up the hardware wallet. Now, I don't think it's necessary to go through the process of setting this up because I think it's pretty straightforward, and it's actually something that you need to be pretty familiar with, because if you ever lost this, or if you wanted to back it up with getting a second one, what you would do is you would use the recovery sheet that comes with the Ledger Nano S. So what's important about this recovery sheet is that it contains bunch of different words that are used to recover the hardware wallet. If, for example, this was a new hardware wallet, if we had just bought this right off the street, or if we had lost our previous one, and this is the question I get all the time, you know, what happens if I drop this or it gets burnt up in a fire, what then? Well, the good part is that as long as you have this, as long as you wrote down the 24 words that it gives you when you're setting up the device, and you use that when you're setting this up, the new one, it's like nothing ever happened. Furthermore, you could go off and buy a second one of these and have it stored in a completely different location in case this one got lost or stolen or broken. And you could use that, you could set it up just like this one, and it would be a clone, or, you know, it's because the private keys are always stored in this device. You're never going to see the private key that's in this. And that's important because it helps with making sure that no one steals your private key, because, you know, as we've mentioned, once someone has the private key, that's it. They essentially own your crypto. So you don't want them to have access to that. You don't want them to be able to see it. And frankly, it's better if you don't even have to see it, because that's just, you know, almost plausible deniability. You know, you won't need it. You won't need to see it. It's kept on here so that when you use it with something like the Neon wallet, it's very fast and it's very secure as well. There's encryption methods built into this. They'll keep, even if someone got this, stole this from you, they wouldn't be able to do much without the PIN that I'll show you in a sec. So let's go through that process right now. What you're going to want to do is, once this is set up, of course, and it has the correct apps on it, you can go ahead and plug it in. So I've plugged it into my laptop here. So once we get it plugged in, we'll have the PIN code prompt comes up. And like I said, if this is the first time you're ever setting this up, you'll obviously have to go through the process of, you know, setting the PIN code and writing down the recovery phrase. But as I've already got this set up, you can see all you have to do is there's two buttons on the top, and you use those to go through. And then to select, we just double tap. Once we're able to get that logged in, you can see we have a couple apps here. And so primarily because the only things I'm storing on here are these coins, these are the ones I've selected to have loaded onto my hardware wallet. But obviously you can choose whatever coins are supported for the Ledger at the time you're watching this video. They're constantly adding new coins, so it's not very effective for me to go over the current list. So, as you can see, what I'd like to do is talk about Neo, as we're dealing with the third-party Neo wallet. So you see we've got several options here, such as login using a saved wallet or login using an encrypted key. You know, those would be like the file that you would receive when you set up the wallet. You know, if we created a new wallet, that's where you would get it. You also have the option of just logging using a private key, but I don't recommend this as this is very unsafe for you to have a private key in an unencrypted format like that. So we're going to use the best possible option, which is to log in using a ledger, which is what we have today. So we hit that, and so here you can see what happens if you hit that login using a ledger option. Right now, because my Ledger Nano S is plugged in, but I haven't started the app, it's telling me, hey, your Neo app is closed, please log in. If I were to disconnect the Ledger Nano S, you see it says USB error, no device found. So if we plug it back in and go back through the PIN code process. So now what I want to do, you can see we're back to your Neo app is closed, please log in. Let's go to Neo. You see it says wake up Neo, and now we zoom out, click on the above button to log in. So now we're going to do that, and hey, there we go. So essentially that's how you use a hardware wallet to log into something like a software wallet. And essentially, it's not even really a software wallet that we're interfacing with, because at no point in this process would an attacker be able to, you know, intercept this, because the connection between my Ledger Nano S and my computer is encrypted. The private key is not going through this cord totally unencrypted. They would have to be very good at what they're doing to be able to intercept that and somehow steal your private key. No, this is a very secure process. Even if it looks very similar to, you know, logging in using a saved wallet or logging in using an encrypted key, this is much safer because the private key is stored in this device. It never leaves this device. Furthermore, it gives you the ability to, once you're done with the, you know, function that you're using this wallet for example, if I wanted to send or receive, I would just, you know, use this device to sign that transaction by clicking both buttons at once. Once I'm done with using this device, boop, that's it. And I can go store this in a secure location like I should, and that's it. You know, it's completely offline. There's no way someone can access this now. It is completely offline. So that's why it is considered a cold wallet, because there's no, it's completely, there's no power. So there's no way for someone to, you know, compromise this unless they had physical access to this device. So even if they're somehow able to, you know, get in here and mess with the onboard memory or something and crack the encryption, whatever, they can't do that unless they have physical access to this device. So even if you hear someone saying that, oh, you know, that ledger has been compromised, well, maybe, but unless the hacker, you know, and again, this needs to be a very talented hacker, unless they have physical access to this device, they're not doing anything. So I think it prevents so many possible security vulnerabilities that it's easily worth the purchase price if you have even a moderate amount of cryptocurrency. This allows you to be your own bank in a lot of ways that something like a software wallet will not let you do. So yeah, take from that what you will, but I think this is one of the best ways to store your crypto right now.